Would you mind if we switch gears a little bit? I'd love to
Please.
pick your brain. Would you mind just kind of starting from scratch for someone who doesn't understand the Muslim faith? A little bit about what that looks like. And as a believer in Christ, what does it look like to follow and evangelize to the Muslim?
Sure. I mean, what I'm going to say is not going to be very politically correct. I call it Muslim religion.
Okay.
Not Muslim faith. Not because this and that. For me, faith is dynamic.
Okay.
For me, the 4,000 different religions in the world are religions. Because religion has rituals, practices, you don't think, you follow. In religion, you don't think. There's in Islam or every other religion, there are set of practices. For example, in Islam, you have to pray 5 times a day. And this is the way you pray. That's the way you do things. Boom, 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 boom. And people don't know half of the details that Muslims live through. Silly stuff. You enter the restroom with your left foot. You leave with your right foot first.
Really?
And details, and details, and details. So that's why I call it religion.
Okay.
For me, part of the salvation of Christ is the freedom of this.
Yeah, love that.
There is no other religion in the world where God says, come, let's argue. With Jesus, come, let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's either you convince me or I convince you. Jesus releases this, speaks of the truth, speaks of thinking, speaks of choices, speaks of decisions. He, to a certain extent, left part of the eternity decision dependent on us. That's how much he believes we can make decisions.
Yeah.
So in Islam or any other religion, step, 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 step. That's why I and again, allow me to say this, there's Christian religion and Christian faith.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Christian religion is, you say that, I mean, you go to places and you say this, I say that. You stand like this, I stand like that. Even in our Protestant community, you go to church, well-dressed on Sunday morning, well-shaved, nice and neat. You stand, you pay your tithes and offerings. You show up on a Bible study, then you're good to go. In the Middle East, when somebody dies, on their obituaries, there's a term they use, fulfilling his religious duties or her religious duties. With Jesus, there was nothing like that. What he did has nothing like that. So that's why I differentiate between, and again, I'm saying there's lots of Christian religion, but we're looking at what Jesus did, at least for me. I mean, I know there will be red flags in so many places, but for me, Jesus did life. Jesus did faith. Jesus didn't do religion. If you Google, if you research those religions, there are so many messed up things, like royally messed up, and they are called religions. Are we the same? No. There's no grace in any religion. There's no grace in religion.
No.
It's punishing.
It's works.
If you have to do this. If you don't do it,
Yeah.
I slap you. I punish you. With Jesus, the case is different. Faith is life, and that's what, for me, Jesus came to do. It's not religion. When we make Christian faith so abstract and philosophical and up there, that's religion. People you see in the marketplace, regardless of their social status, that's life. So Muslims and everybody else, and there is this scare or fear of Islam, where, Muslim, there are tons of other religions that are 10 times worse than Muslims. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be Muslims all the time, but kind of being the second biggest religion in the world, and we're tying it to terrorism and politics and this and that, people are always intrigued about Islam. For me, every religion in the world falls under the same category if it wasn't for the love of Jesus.
Yes.
So, I mean,
No, I agree.
I'm not a Christian radical or hardliner. I'm not hyper-spiritual. Definitely I'm not. I'm not trying to look good. I mean, no, I'm not trying to look good. I'm just a human being having a full human experience, but with Jesus. That's the difference. Islam is a set of rules and regulations and different things that Muslims follow. Now, historically, there are so many different things that Muslims did. I mean, the way Islam started, Islam relied on wars and invasions to spread Islam. And again, this is history. I'm not coming up with something new.
Right.
It started in the Arabian Peninsula, and it spread into different parts of the Arab world. Lots of common practices between Islam and Judaism. Think about it. Even religious Muslims make their women wear veils. Religious Orthodox Jews make their women wear veils.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Think about it. Lots of commonalities in the past. So I put 4, 5, 6 points about Islam worldview. I mean, just to give you an idea. Islam believe in monotheism, which is there is one God. We believe in one God. That God has, and that's another challenge for kids.
Yeah.
Which is, how can he be three? And I went through the simple kid exercise, which I think makes sense more than any other philosophy, which is when I told my kids, so who am I to you? You're our father. Perfect. Who am I to mom? You're her husband. Who am I to grandma? You're her son. But does this mean there are 3 Nadims? No. There's one Nadim with 3 different roles.
I love that.
It's,
It makes it so easy for them to understand.
God has played different roles, but he remains God. And he alone can do it. Nobody else can do it. To play those fulfilling roles the way he does it.
Yeah.
Think about his role as the Holy Spirit or as Jesus, God the Father. Very impressive. He makes it perfect because he's God.
Yeah.
And the one true God is the only one who can do that. So in Islam, they believe, and in Arabic, it's a little misleading because we both use the term Allah. Allah in Arabic is used by the Christians and Muslims. There's no other terminology for God except Allah.
Okay.
So in Islam, they believe that is God gender-free, omnipotent, omnipresent, knows everything. They give God 99 names in Islam, 99 names, 99 attributes. The closest they get to love is compassionate. There's no love. On the contrary, God, there's this anger measure of God, and you do everything to please him. But monotheism, meaning one God. Forget, no roles, no nothing, just one God. Number 2, submission to that one God. The term Muslim in Arabic comes out of, again, doesn't make sense to you in Arabic, yastaslim, which is to give in, to submit. The person who becomes a Muslim is, I'm submitting to the will of God. That's why for everything, a Muslim would say, it's the will of God. It's the will of God. Even in bad situations, it's the will of God. It's the will of God. And again, let me poke something a little, which is this creeped into our Christian churches so many times, a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, because we say it a lot of times.
Somebody got sick in the family. It's the will of God. No, it's not the will of God. And it irritates me. Like a guy was preaching, I've known him for a long time, and he said, maybe if a person in your family got cancer, God is trying to teach you a lesson. And I'm like, whoa. So God is killing somebody to teach me a lesson? No, I don't want that God. Sometimes I told you I'm not politically correct. I'm very outspoken on these things. No, that's not him. He wouldn't die for me and do this. It has to look, he has to be in harmony. So in Islam, everything is It's the will of God. It's the will of God. When people die, it's the will of God.
So what do you say it is in Christianity? Like it with Jesus, like when bad things happen, because I believe God is all powerful.
When he
He's in control.
when he kicked them out of Eden, we undermine what he said.
Yes.
And he told us up front, hey, listen, it's not going to be funny out there. Actually, it's going to be very painful, very this, very that. He made a list.
Yes.
We undermine. And when he came as Jesus, he came to redeem this. He didn't do a reset button and took us back to Eden.
Right.
He just said, okay, you're in this situation. Sacrifice and 10 commandments didn't help you. So I'm going to come and help you because I still love you from the days of Eden.
Yeah.
So, well, things are different, but we're starting there. We still have the full human experience. He speaks of diseases, he speaks of killings, he speaks of wars, he speaks of so many things because of our human experience, because of what sin did. We undermine that.
Yes.
And sometimes we mislead people when we say, come be a Christian and have a rosy journey.
Yeah.
There are no rosy journeys.
No.
But one of my learnings with God after all these people died and I experienced what I experienced, I never doubt the goodness of God.
Yes.
Because death, the ultimate fear for us, God sees death in a whole different way than we see death. God sees death. He was in that room, now he's with me here. We see death as the final terminal separation. A whole different dynamic.
Yes.
That's another dimension of the relationship where we need to start seeing things from the eyes of God, from the perspective of God. And again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. It's all in the Bible.
Right.
One of the things that we don't like is, there's no common sense with God. There's only faith. And this killed me, frankly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I discovered that there is common sense, but it's God's common sense. And the word shows us what's God's common sense. So submission, back to Islam, submission is, I take it, bad or good, doesn't make sense. It's God. That's why so many people come to Christ out of Islam because you cannot do this to me.
Yeah.
It's too much. You cannot be God and do this. Or allow this.
Yeah.
So this submission, as specified in the Quran and practices of religion, it's the will of God. You've got 10 kids and your wife is sick. Why is she pregnant? It's the will of God. No, it's not the will of God. So, and again, we live through this because Christians in the Middle East are like, we're talking about nominal Christians, 3% of the population. So we live, and again, there are certain practices. Take the Catholic Church many years back. Contraceptives were a sin in the Catholic Church. So it's the will of God. No, it's not the will of God.
Yeah.
So there are certain things, but submission is a key thing in Islam.
Okay.
You submit. Prophethood. God, for some reason, picked Muhammad, and he decided that he's going to carry the message through the Quran. And by the way, on my journey of rediscovering, at some point, I was like trying to find the system. Where's the glitch? I read big parts of the Quran. Okay, am I missing something? I want to know.
Yeah.
So prophethood, it's one of the key issues in Islam, which is Muhammad conveys the will of God through the Quran. There is something called al-hadith, or the story. That's parallel in a way, not parallel, but equally important to the Quran for religion, which is the stories about Muhammad that were not written in the Quran. And this is where manipulation goes in all directions. And not only in Islam, take the Yazidis, since we spoke of the Yazidis.
Yes.
When we started working, I was curious about, do they have a book? And they said, yeah, we have a book called the Book of Wisdom. I was like, oh, excellent. Can I have a copy? No. I was like, why? And this lady was, because I don't have a copy. So tell me more. And she said, there's only one copy. It's kept in the Louvre, a museum in Paris, under this glass cover. I was like, okay. And being the naive person, sometimes I take things. At that time, I was part of the Beirut City Council. And I said, okay, I know the mayor of Paris. So maybe I talk to the mayor of Paris and we make copies. So I said, okay, can't you make copies of the book? She says, no, you cannot copy the book. That's a commandment. So, and you're talking to a very well-educated group of people. You've got PhDs and MDs. And this lady has a master's in immunology from a German university. I mean, we're not talking about just,
unwise people.
And I said, help me understand. She said, yeah, almost so many generations by storytelling. And there's lots of tweaks every time. And that's religion. So there's al-hadith and the Quran. The Quran is the prophetic writings. Al-hadith is the stories about the prophet and what they do and what they shouldn't do. Then there are the practices, the prayers, which is very important. And God counts those prayers. So you're praying 5 times a day. Prayer during the month of Ramadan, the fasting month, is counted 70 prayer. So each prayer you pray in Ramadan, it's counted 70. Wow. And if you pray in Ramadan in Mecca, it's 1,000 prayer. God's keeping record of everything you're doing. So the practices, which is the zakah is like our tithing. But we do 10%, they do 2.5.
25.
2.5.
Oh, 2.5.
Okay. Then there is the fasting, which is Ramadan. Then which is you fast sun up to sundown, but then you eat sundown to sun up.
Okay.
Okay. So basically you're
reverse. Equal.
Yeah, but you're fasting for 12 hours, almost, or a little more. And then you have the Hajj, which is the pilgrimage. Which is at least, it's the duty of every Muslim to go once in a lifetime to Mecca, to pray there. So that's what they call the Hajj, or the pilgrimage to Mecca. These are all practices. Then part of their worldview is divine unity. Everything in the universe, galaxies, is aligned with Allah, with God, which is okay. That's fine. And then you have Islamic social ethics, or ethics, which is hospitality. Hospitality is not only an Arab thing, it's a religious thing. You host the stranger, you host the foreigner, you feed them, you take care of them. And so this is the worldview of us. This is an overview of Islam. The thing about it is, the challenge there is when religion becomes your political system. That's where the things start to get where we are now. When religion becomes the political system, this is where things get really nasty. Because Christian faith, or even Christian religion, is my choice. Islamic religion is my obligation. See the difference?
Yes.
A Christian person deciding to become a Muslim, it's his choice. A Muslim person deciding to become a Christian is similar to the honor-shame crime we talked about. There's no joke there. Countries, for example, there are whole countries where the constitution is based on the Quran. There are countries, for example, like Egypt, where the name Muhammad has to be given to the president when he's sworn in. So, for example, President Sadat, Anwar Sadat. When he was sworn in, he became Muhammad Anwar Sadat. His successor was Muhammad Hosni Mubarak. The current president is Muhammad Abdul. They have to, by constitution, he has to carry the name Muhammad, which says this is a Muslim country.
Wow.
So when the challenge that the world is facing with Islam is Christian religion is not a political system. After the medieval ages and the Christian empires and stuff like this, there's no country that says we're a Christian country. Our constitution is based on the Bible. I mean, there are still some extracts in the U.S. Constitution. In God we trust, and this and that, and but otherwise, there's no other country like this. In Islam, I mean, Quran is the basis and majority of the constitution of the country, which changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
So this historically and now leads to every non-Muslim becomes a second-class citizen. Historically, I mean, there are lots of practices. For example, during the first day of the kind of Muslim empire, if you're not a Muslim and the Muslim is passing in the street, you have to step on the side, turn your face to the wall until he passes.
Really?
You couldn't own a horse. You'd own a mule at best. Because horses, you're second class. Privileges, you have to pay a tax, an extra tax for being a Muslim. This is religion.
Muslim or Christian? For being Christian and a Muslim?
For not being a Muslim.
For not being a Muslim.
Yes. Crazy.
Yeah, so you've got all these practices because it's a religion. I mean, think about it this way. I don't know if you're following what's going in India now.
No.
In India, there's this outcry or attacks against Islam, against Christianity, against every non-Hindu in the country.
Really?
They even changed the name of the country from India. If you look at the Indian president in a summit or something, there's no India in front of him. There's called Bharat, which is the original Hindu name of India.
Really?
And he made it clear that India is a Hindu state. So now they're attacking everybody else.
Who's not Hindu.
Who's not Hindu. Wow. So, and again, that's religion.
Yeah.
When you speak of Islam, this is an Islamic state, so every non-Muslim is not welcomed. This is what religion brings. So these are some of the major things. But again, in Islam, God being my father is not even there. Personal relationship is not even there. Prayer is repetition of words with no expectation. There are kind of wishes or kind of outcries that you give to God on certain issues about even the prayers for sickness and diseases and this and that. There are prayers that you recite. But this personal relationship,
just a regular talk with
even
God,
from the Old Testament till now, nothing. You make your way with good work. Meaning you do good, you do good, you do good. I had a friend who was one of the leaders of, I said had because he died, of a very radical Muslim group. We always had this discussion back and forth. So I said, you do. And you do, I mean, mega size. You do. He used to be very wealthy, so would build mosques and schools and this and that. And I'm like, this is great. But you're doing this because you're trying to have a better eternity. Yes. Excellent. But there's no guarantee. Meaning you do. On that day, if you catch God on a good day, you're good. If you catch God and God's angry for something, you're going down. So there's no guarantee. You're doing and doing.
Yeah, you're
and
never sure.
Maybe. And I'm like, well, we're a little different.
You're exhausted and you're like
He's counting your prayers. He's measuring your actions.
Yeah.
He's this, he's this, he's this. And then there's no guarantee. You can go down and up for no reason. And again, think back. That's why I'm going back to the same point, religion. Mm. If you ever seen the drawings and the pyramids, or what the pharaohs believed, or the Maya civilization, there's always this scale where God puts your work on one side and measures your works. Because and sometimes we as Christians, we think our works is what helps.
Yeah.
Paul changed the whole game. He said, show me your faith with what you do. Don't do. It's not about doing. It's about showing your faith. Mm-hmm. It's about how Christ changed your heart to do this. Mm-hmm. We have, in the Middle East, tons of war since the dawn of history. Lots of wars between Christians and Muslims, and bad blood and killing, and there's always something happening. There's always somebody killing somebody. When Christians and Muslims are face to face helping each other, it's not, and so many people of my team would say, you know what, not because I want to help you, because Jesus changed my life. Mm-hmm. We had an encounter not long time ago. One of the guys called me and he was weeping. I mean, the guy is my age or a little older, a couple of years, old friend. And they were fighting in an area in Beirut during the war. Mm-hmm. The Syrian army was in Lebanon. And during that fight, he lost a couple of his very close friends. Fast forwards 40 years later, he became a follower of Jesus. He's leading a Discovery Bible study where there are Muslims and Syrians and this and that. Mm-hmm. And the Syrian in that Bible study said, well, I used to come and fight here and as a soldier in the army. And my friend was like, so where did you fight? Oh, I fought this. Oh, and they started focusing. They turned out to be in that same building at that fight.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Unreal. And the man became a follower of Jesus. Mm. John became a follower of Jesus. But John couldn't hold it. He went back. He started weeping and called me. I met the man who killed my friends. Wow. And I'm like, okay, now, what do you want to do? Humanly, I want to rip him apart. Mm-hmm. When Christ changed my life, I want to minister to him. You see the difference between religion and what Jesus does?
Yes.
So this is one of the things. So Islam, I'm not trying to dilute things. I'm trying to be realistic. Everything away from Jesus falls in the same category.
Agreed.
You may call it Islam, you may call it Hinduism, you may call it Christian religion. You may call it all you want. Without Jesus, everyone is on the same platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is it like when you minister to Muslim and they realize that they can call God a father?
That's the biggest revelation.
What do they do? What is it like?
That's the biggest revelation for them because you've got the element of love, mm-hmm. the element of acceptance, mm-hmm. the element of relationship, mm-hmm. and the element of assurance of eternity.
Yeah.
All these play into this. One thing I admire about Muslims becoming followers of Jesus, they hold him more than we do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you've been starving somebody for so long.
Yeah.
And then they say, that's him. Mm-hmm. It's the revelation.
Yeah. Now, how would you address, let's say I met someone who didn't believe? Is that your starting line? I mean, if that's the missing link, that God can be our father and it's not our religion.
With a Muslim?
Yep.
No, actually, I start with relationship.
You do. You get to know them first. I'm just wondering if I feel like there's a community here, and I I do feel like I've got a better understanding of what their beliefs are, but then just what does it look like to minister? But it starts with the relationship.
Yeah. It starts with a little kind of falls down.
Okay.
I'm a Muslim, you're a Christian, you hate me, I hate you.
Right.
So we want to lower the defenses.
Yeah.
So,
do you feel like they're willing?
They
Like,
are.
do you think that would be, even in this setting in Alabama, let's say, because I know there's a bunch of
something happened
people here.
with me in Alabama, actually in Birmingham, a few months back. I was buying something from an electronics store. I don't want to say the name of the store. And the guy who was helping me when I was paying, he said, your name is Nadim. I said, yeah. I said, Nadim is an Arab name. I said, I know. So what's your name? And he gave me his name. And he turned out, I said, yeah. I don't say you're a Muslim. So you have an Arab name. Yeah, my parents are Muslims and blah, blah, blah. So we went into this, how long have you been here? And very friendly talk.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything. And just because I was like, at ease and good for you and God bless you. And he said, help me understand. There are all these churches here, and so you understand me better because you're an Arab.
Yeah.
I said, sure. So we started talking. And he said, I cannot talk a lot here in the store. So I took his name. And there's a friend of mine who went to heaven, a former Muslim. His name is Nabil Quraishi. He wrote a book called Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus.
Yeah.
So I got the book. A friend of mine here in Birmingham delivered it to him. Do I know what happened? I don't know. But you have just to. Plus, trust me, for a Muslim, if you say, how can I pray for you? Or God bless you, they will appreciate it more than so many other non-Muslims.
Really?
Because Muslims love to be prayed for.
Even by Christians.
They like to be prayed for. Because you're basically what you're saying, I'm calling for the blessing of God to rest on you. That's what you're saying. So, and again, the worst that could happen is I don't want.
Right.
But when they see you, especially in a relationship, when they see you respecting them, because think about it, if you worship this and I start making fun of you, you're going to be defensive.
Yeah.
And in all we do, we serve in 30 countries. It's not a comparative thing. This versus that, Islam versus Christianity. Because the moment you go in that route, defenses go up.
Okay.
Because basically you're telling people all your life, all your family, all your beliefs are wrong.
Right.
And who's going to accept that?
Right.
That's why it's important as followers of, that's why I'm speaking about life.
Yeah.
Because we're the samples. When you tell me I'm a follower of Jesus, I want to look. What do I see?
Yeah.
What is
Are
it?
you compassionate? Are you showing me love?
Thank
Are you
you.
making fun of me?
Thank
or are
you.
you being mean to me?
Thank
Are
you.
you avoiding eye contact with me?
Keep
You know?
going. Keep
Right?
going.
Right.
Keep going.
And so
Are you ridiculing me? Are you ridiculing
Yeah.
my faith? Or you accept me?
Yeah.
Tons of times during the wars, last set of wars, what they called the Arab Spring, and when war in Syria, ISIS, and Lebanon came, we had probably now close to 2 million refugees. And all these people coming in, I would say 95% come from Muslim background. So I cannot tell you how many times people would say, you know what, I don't want the food pack you're giving me. I want your Jesus.
Really?
Because everybody can give you a food box, but when you accept them the way you are, when you accept their practices, when you do this, when you do that.
Lowers your defenses.
There was one case I still remember well where this couple came into one of the places where we were giving food boxes and blankets. The woman was veiled, not face cover, but head cover. And I was in the back and coming in, and they were coming in. And the woman was a very beautiful lady. So I just walked and continued. And so the man's, when they came in, in Islam, for example, because tons of indications for physical relationships in Islam, when you break it down, tons of things. So part of the thing, you don't look a woman in the eye. You cannot be with a woman in one room by yourself, because religiously, this gives you right to the woman. When you look a woman straight in the eye all the time, you're basically telling her that you're interested in her, and tons of things.
That's good.
So, yeah, they came in, and you don't shake the hand of a woman. Like we shook hands, you told me I'm going to hug you.
Yes.
Well, we don't do that. You do this. You greet like this. So they walked in, and so I saw them coming in. I go, how can I help you? I have 2 kids, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're packing. He said, listen, he said, I went to 5 mosques before I came here. And he said, all the sheikhs, all the clergy, they were trying to kind of distract me just to go with my wife.
What?
And they want to know details and this and that. And he said, we walked in, you saw us coming in. You saw my wife, you put your eyes down. She came and you did this in respect. You never looked at her face again. You just gave us what we asked for. You never treated us different because she's wearing the Muslim dress or this and that. So he said, you know what? Keep the food, keep the blankets, give me your Jesus.
Incredible.
That is awesome.
I know.
That's very cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Fast forward, he and she are now leading Bible studies. And
Wow.
it's this element where I don't want to, it's not my job to prove who's wrong and who's right.
Right.
My job as a follower of Jesus is to live as a follower of Jesus and let God be God. He never asked us to do his job.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's agree on something.
Right.
He never asked us, if we can do our job, that would be great.
Yeah.
Right.
He never asked us to do his job.
No, but he did call us to love one another.
And to live what we're called to do.
Yes. And so we can do that. That's not a hard job.
And we don't love one another. I'm not talking about Christian-Muslim. I'm talking about Christian-Christian.
Oh,
Yeah.
no kidding.
So we have, again, for me, it's sad. With all what's going on these days, the fiercest fights are among Christians themselves.
Why is that?
Thank you. I don't know, because we decided to skip the point and think we are powerful. And think about it this way. Again, goes from the days of Jesus, where the 2 brothers, when the mom came and said, can my son sit one on your left, one on your right? And it created negative vibes in today's language.
Yeah. Well, it's just
know?
an arrogance that you have. Like, yes, we are called to be leader. I mean, we have leaders, but there's just this pride that is so insidious in the Christian faith that is just.
We want to be right, and we want to let them know they're not.
Yeah.
And that's right, just the way you're saying.
Not only as Christians and Muslims, as Christians and Christians.
Right. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
In Egypt, it's funny. You have 17 Christian denominations.
Really?
In this town, I bet I have no idea how many churches there are.
No, not churches, denominations.
Oh, my goodness.
I was taken once by security, and the officer said, so tell me, we have these 17. And I didn't count them, actually, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He said, tell me, there's 17 Christian denominations in Egypt. So can you tell me which one of those is the true Christian? I was like, you know what? Very frankly. He said, yeah. I said, none of them. And he was like, none of them. I said, yeah, the one who obeys the word of God. And I went, and he goes, yeah, that's why I like you. But think about it this way. And again, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Right. Deuteronomy 17, either 17 or 18, you can find it. Deuteronomy 17, most likely. When the people of Israel went to God, we want a king. Excellent. These are the attributes of the king. 1, 2, 3, 4. But when the king sits on his throne, he copies to himself, he makes himself a copy of the law. Because God knows when we write or we memorize. Why is that, God? Obey and live. From the beginning, it was about the Word of God, obedience, and life. We want to reinvent the wheel. We want to make things harder or more easy to... It's not going to work.
No.
I mean, God, one of our challenges, I think, as Christians is we like to do things. He did things. He did the whole job and say, guys, I did the whole thing. You just need to do it. You just need to live it. I gave you all the benefit. Just go out and do it. It's about the word.
Yes.
It's about obedience.
Yes.
And it's about life.
Yes.
Think about it. What are the times, even in the Psalms or the New Testament, it's all about obedience. And it's all about life. He sent them out. What did he ask them to do? He didn't tell them, go grab people and bring them to the temple or do 3 times a week meeting. Or he said, go out, listen to what he asked. Heal the sick, cast demons, love and bless people. Thank you very much. That's all I want. And I'll do the rest.
Yeah. I got this.
And we're stuck.
It's interesting that you were talking about that because this morning I was reading in Ezra and I don't have my glasses on, of course, but can you read that? The blue that's highlighted? But
for Ezra had devoted himself to the study and observance of the law of the Lord and to teaching its decrees and laws in Israel.
Yeah, and it was just so poignant to me, like it's study, obey, teach. That's the order. But I mean, it's still teach is live. We teach by how we live our lives.
By modeling it.
Yeah, by modeling. What better teacher than to model?
Matthew 27, the commandment, the great commandment, greatest commandment. Funny enough, the Arabic language is go out, model it, baptize, then teach.
Yeah.
But you have to model it.
Yeah.
We have to show people like how non-religiously, I can make life with Jesus. Like if I see you today, so how are you today? You're going to say, Ezra chapter 16, verse 8? No.
Right.
I'm fine. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm having challenges with my kids. I'm doing great. Whatever it is. But I'm on that journey with Jesus.
Yeah.
Rather than religious. I have a friend, and so how are you? Oh, today I'm in the presence of the Trinity. I'm like, okay, skip this for me. So how are you? I'm not talking about the Trinity. I don't want religious.
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Speak
I'm
to
sad.
me my language.
Yes.
So and we try so many times, and this is what people don't do.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we didn't ask that you wanted to mention before we wrap up?
Actually, something bugs me all the time, not with you guys.
Just with me.
No, just with me. I don't know how many people listen to this podcast, and it's not the objective for me, yes or no. But I'm so burdened these days with the idea of life. We just need to be who we are. We just, this relationship, not just, you don't decide to be Beth today and not to be Beth tomorrow.
Right.
You're Beth.
Right.
I don't decide this morning, you know what, I don't want to be Nadim. No, I'm Nadim.
Yeah.
Our relationship with Jesus is this.
Yes.
We cannot keep bringing Jesus on need-be basis. What does it take that we skip all the issues that are going and just be us? We can do anything. We can do politics. We can do life. We can do sports. We can do fun. But we can do it the Jesus way. Can we?
Yes.
And so many times I feel Jesus laughs and pokes. The Olympics. The opening show of the Paris Olympics, miserable, outcry, everybody's saying things. People in this country, oh, this is how America should go. Nonsense. What did God do? 400-meter Olympic runner, oh, you broke the world record. It's not me, it's Jesus. Jesus changed my heart. 200-meter, oh, it's God who changed my life. I felt like Jesus is laughing. Steph Curry, and the best game in the Olympics in basketball. Oh, God changed my life. I'm like, God is, oh, you want to go there? Look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we go one level and see where God is going? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop adding things. I realized as somebody who's in the South that college football is more important than NFL, especially Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, but do you follow on the news how many college teams are now speaking about prayer meetings and how much Jesus changed me and this and this? This is where God is working.
Yes. So look for where he's working.
Can we just stop finding answers to what people don't want and try to live to what people want? Can we do that?
Yeah.
I hope so.
That's what I want. That's my message. I'm like, when and again, go back to Jesus. Go live what I did.
Yeah.
Go tell them what I did.
Yeah.
Go tell them what you lived, what you experienced. Go go to your family. Go to your village. Go just tell them what happened to you. I don't want you to teach them end times theology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made, I mean, this is one of the things that bugged me. I mean, he made it clear, even I don't know, Jesus said, even I don't know, only my Father. And we are so consumed. The 4 moons on this and the trumpet. And, he told you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He left certain things for us and decided to take other things for him. Stick to what's for us.
Well, I mean, if you live heaven bound, it doesn't matter if he comes back today, tomorrow, or in 10 generations. That shouldn't change how I live my life. I should be living my life as if he would come back at any moment and training my children as if he was going to come back at any moment. Because God's got a plan for every moment that we are here, and we have a job to do while we are here. And if we quit thinking about it and get it away from being on the forefront of our hearts and minds, we become complacent and like we start.
We
blending.
fight for it. We argue over it. We and you know our name became Near East organization was the 5-country thing. But when God kicked all the doors and took us in all directions, we changed the name. It became Neo-Leaders. And lately I'm realizing that when Jesus spoke, because, I'm one of those fascinated by leadership books and writings and this and that. But when Jesus spoke of leadership, he spoke of servanthood.
Right.
It's not, she's more important than me and you're more important than her. And it's about, so we're like, guys, can we fix it somewhere?
Yes.
So my conclusion is Islam or 4,000 other religions are waiting for us as followers of Jesus. We need to step up. The way we step up is not theology. It's just live it out.
Yeah.
Just love on people, care for people, speak the truth in love, and let God be God. Don't play his role.
Right.
Yes.
So. And I love that to be like, just say, look, this is what he did for me. This is Jesus here, the introduction, and I'm out. Like, it's not, this isn't, I'm not trying to win you. I'm just, I'd like for your life to be better because I care for you as a human and I care for you and your soul. But
think about it the other way. I mean, I think we're out of time's out. Is our time up?
That's okay. Go ahead.
It's like when you go to the gym, you don't find big people and go ask them, how can I be like you?
Yeah.
You want to ask fit people.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's a famous story. I mean, everybody, if any of my friends is listening to me or will listen to me, my wife took me to a dietitian. I was like 30, 35 pounds bigger.
Mm.
So and she said, that's the guy, and organic stuff, and da, 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 da. I was like, okay. So I went, I met her there. So I walked in. I looked, and there's this very big guy. So I was like, is he another patient? She said, that's the doctor. Ah, okay. So I sat down, and he started asking me questions. And I'm looking at him, and I'm not answering. And my wife is going, answer the doctor. I finally said, listen, I have a question. I'm coming here to lose weight. You're bigger than I am. So, actually much bigger than I am. So help me understand. He gave me a series of excuses. Why and why and why and why, which I didn't buy, by the way.
Right.
And then he gave me the 10 commandments, his 10 commandments of dieting. And on the way out, it landed on the first trash can.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So when people come to us, first they will not come to us if they don't like what they see.
Yeah.
And think about it. Jesus never used the term, I'm right, you're wrong.
Mm.
He always asked questions. He always helped people think. He always. And we're not supposed to tell people, you're wrong, I'm right.
Right.
I know you don't.
Right.
Let's just live it out.
Because that's arrogance.
That's great.
Yeah. It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming and talking with us. This has been so much fun.
Yes.
I just
Thank you so
loved
much.
it.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.